Singapore's national health data is painting a troubling picture. 1 in 3 youths showing severe symptoms of depression, anxiety or stress. This can leave some more vulnerable to harmful coping behaviours, including gaming or digital dependency. Associate Professor Jiow Hee Jhee is the Deputy Director of the Singapore Institute of Technology, and he shares his insights into the issues at a youth mental health symposium earlier today. But he joins me now to tell me a lot more about this topic. Professor, 1 in 3 is quite a large number. I'm wondering, when it translates into excessive gaming among youths in Singapore today, how serious is it?
I think in my work with the parents and the youth, it's pretty serious. Parents are up in arms. I do not know how to handle my kids. And then the child is just video gaming all day long and stuff like that. So it gets very serious in some of the cases that I've seen.
Well, that's anecdotally, but, at what point does it become serious? Does it tip over for becoming a very passionate recreational activity to becoming problematic behavior?
Yeah, so you mentioned recreations, right? Most of the time the kids start out that way. But what happens is that what we actually look at is the damage to functioning of the child. So when we talk about damage to functioning, a child's functioning at that age, you're looking at the academic side and the social side, right? So as a result of video gaming, has his or her grades suffered? As a result of video gaming, has he or she isolated himself or herself from her friends and things like that? So we look at the measure of functioning that's been damaged, and that's where we term it as problematic video gaming.
Okay, so if you see a change in these two prongs, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've studied different gamer profiles, and I should tell our audience, there are different gamer profiles. Tell us a bit about those profiles, and how does knowing the profile of the child help us to understand why they are more likely to be excessively gaming, and how to help them?
Okay, so when we talk about these profiles, we want to understand the motivation why a gamer games, for example. So the profiles are, for example, achiever type. Right. So these are the ones that want to go and achieve, level up in game and stuff like that. Yeah. Then you have the social type that will largely play only when their friends are playing and things like that. Then we also have the explorers. These are the kind that would like to go inside the game or try new hats, try new stuff, explore the area and stuff like that. So once you understand the motivation, you are better able to help the child gravitate away from video gaming to probably something a bit more healthier alternative.
I guess that profile helps you to really pinpoint the driver, right? Whether it be boredom or stress, social connection, or perhaps even something more complex.
Yeah, so let me just give you an example, right? I work with a particular gamer. We found out that largely does it for exploratory purposes. So you can tell the way he or she plays the games, like to explore this land, etc., and things like that. So what happened was this child was taken to the nature reserve, right? Experiential, physical. He sees the place, likes the nature reserve, and then we realized that, he did hint that he really likes to see all this. So what we told the parents was, why not at the next birthday, you buy him a camera? And the parents actually did that, and he just took on the camera, took on photography, and just gravitated away from video gaming naturally. Parents didn't even have to, say, hey, don't play, and things like that. So this is one way, an example of how when you look at the motivation, you're better able to help the child realize that in a healthier alternative activity.
And almost refocus. Maybe refocus their intentions and motivations. But, when it does start to affect daily life, that was the explorer profile. What about the achiever profile, those that are really perhaps driven in a different way? Are there any kinds of support or programs that can make a difference?
There are a lot of programs and support out there. The government has worked with tech companies, for example, provide resources to parents and stuff like that. Schools are getting involved as well in their, like cyber wellness programs, tips for safety, online use and stuff like that. And we also have social service agencies which are involved in it. They do counseling for some of these problematic video gamers. Not just the gamers, but also help the families, the parents out of it as well.
Well, it's a community, isn't it? It's a village, isn't it? It's the parents, it is, but it's also the school as well. And is there anything that you want to probably advise so that you don't push them even more into this habit?
I think if I were to advise, schools or people who work with some of these youths who are problematic gamers, is that to try and understand their motivations. So sometimes in my talks to parents, I will share with them the motivation, and I'll actually tell the parents, hey, why don't you try playing a video game? And then you kind of understand it a little bit better, so you are better able to help the child, your child, navigate his or her video gaming experience.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good advice. I was about to say. Thank you so much for your thoughts on this matter. You probably helped, a few parents out there with your input. Thank you. I've been speaking there with Associate Professor Jiow Hee Jhee from the Singapore Institute of Technology.